Hi everyone. For those of you who are not familiar with what this is, it is a self-awareness exercise that I put together pretty much every week for anybody who's watching and wants to use it for a self-awareness exercise, an ability to kind of step back and observe yourself within your world and to notice some of the active elements that are playing out through your psychology and your physicality. So here we go. Based on the Intuitive Insight Oracle cards, the first card that you're being asked to contemplate this week for the week of January 19th, or when it resonates, is patterns. And there it is if you want to take a screenshot. Stepping back from a design, a tapestry, for example, allows for a different perspective. You can see how sections fit together, how one part builds on another, how specific threads are constant or recurring, are part of the supporting theme, or part of a momentary adornment. In the same way, we can stand back and see the weave of our lives. By looking back at the big picture, we can see the main threads, the emotional themes, the beliefs and behaviors that gave rise to momentary events, the repetition of which create the basic pattern and emotional atmosphere. So, when a contemplation card comes up, it's not telling you this is the truth or this is what you should think. It's giving you something to reflect on. It's giving you a reference point so that you can focus your attention into one particular area and see what comes up when you give it attention. So I would look at this and I would say, all right, so this week, what I'm going to be on the lookout for are any kind of patterns that show up, positive or negative, doesn't really matter, but what do I notice as recurring patterns? What do I know? Do I notice old themes coming up? Do I notice patterns of behavior, self-care, whatever that come up that I now identify as a pattern, either good or bad, supportive or not supportive? Can I identify it as a pattern as opposed to just a habit? There's a little bit of a difference there. The energy we're being asked to embrace intentionally is calm focus. There's no rushing or forcing here, no revving of the nervous system, no hyperexcitability or hyperachieving. Set your focus for the day clearly. Gather your mind's energy as though it is a spotlight being gently pulled into a quiet one-pointed laser beam. Let the beam guide you and do the work. Now, this energy, the calm focus energy, the whole idea about having an intentional attitude is that we know, and it's scientifically proven now, that our state of mind, our emotions affect our body chemistry. They will affect the parts of the brain that we have access to, the levels of consciousness that we have access to, and that by allowing ourselves to start noticing the feel of certain qualities of energy, by deliberately saying, if I bring this emotion into my body, what does my body do? Does it expand? Does it contract? Does it soften? Does it get rigid? We can start learning how to understand how the energy of a thought or an experience is affecting us, and we can choose to change it when it's appropriate to do so. Okay? And whether or not we change it, what it gives us the opportunity to do, again, it's another reference point. Is it an easy energy to embody? What happens when you do embody it? Is it difficult? Is it something you have no reference point for yet at all? So these are all just things to consider and to play with, okay? It's all about expanding in awareness in however that happens for you. Now, the other final piece of this 3-pack deck for today is take a break. And I kind of like this because it's one of the things that's going to help you identify the patterns, and that maintaining a calm focus while you do choose to take a break is going to be part of what helps you see that. So let's read Take a Break. Take a break from working on making you or your life better. This includes your figure, your intelligence, your communication skills, your spiritual practice, your self-love, your self-discipline, your sales quota, your mood. right? Today, enjoy anything or nothing. Give up the struggle for better. Let whatever is be enough. When you feel tempted, remind yourself there's no right or wrong about me. Today, I accept all of me just as I am. So I think that's very, very interesting because by maintaining a calm focus, you're really just leaning into observer, which is where you're in a higher frequency and have more access to higher chakras and a different kind of perspective, a more expanded perspective, and more inclination towards higher conscious awareness and intuition. It's also really interesting to me that when it's talking about taking a break from all these things, my gosh, is that where your patterns of behavior are going to show up? And sometimes it's a pattern of thought. They're very sneaky. I catch them every once in a while, where I think I've liberated myself from something, and then all of a sudden I realize I may have liberated myself from that thing, but the pattern of thought that led me to that thing originally is still there. So now what's that pattern of thought? So that's how I'm probably going to be approaching it this week. But I might just sit down and do a little bit of writing about this, which is something I haven't spoken about very much. But certainly, whether you're doing these exercises actively out in your day, in your world, the other way that you can work with them is journaling about them and still appropriately, still embody the calm energy. Write about the patterns, write about the taking a break, however that appears in your life, right? It doesn't have to be, I'm going to sit down and write a thesis. You can just jot ideas down. The other thing I love to do is doodle around them because it's so interesting sometimes what will come up, even if it's just in terms of the style of the doodle. Do you find yourself making grid patterns? Are you doodling loop-de-loop? How does that reflect? Are there a lot of hard edges or soft boundaries? What does this say about how your emotional energy is expressing itself through the writing? And it could also be a poem. So I don't know, I've never actually said this before, but it feels like it's a really appropriate way to broaden this out for you so that it can be more playful. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that. Have fun with patterns, a calm focus, and taking a break from trying to fix or improve anything about yourself. Notice what patterns come up when you choose to do that, when you choose to say, there's no right or wrong about me. Today I accept all of me as I am. Where do you find yourself catching yourself in patterns that either support that or are contradictory to that? I'm going to leave you with that. Have fun, folks. Take care.